It's anything you learn, there's always like a system or structure. And even in school, university, kan, that's how they do tests or make sure they gauge your level of understanding. If like I said, if you're doing it impromptu and because it just came on top of your head, you not recall balik pun, you can't really remember. And whether or not you can actually gauge that towards the participants, that your students ke apa, again, it becomes something that is immeasurable lah. And because of that, then you wouldn't know if it's successful. And if you don't know it's successful, then again, it becomes harder and harder for you to put a value to it. If you try talking about just teaching them for the sake of nak practice, maybe nak practice your fluency. That's one goal lah. Maybe like I said, there's no charges or something. Just starting it, just practice your fluency. Okay, itu satu. Or you already know the knowledge. Okay, now you have to break it down. You want to learn how to break it down in layman's term or in people who have basic knowledge ke, for them to understand. So you go back to basics, your A to Z with it. Okay. And then you can test it on them. Okay. This is what A is, A until M. Do you guys get it so far? Or they say, okay, I understand A until B. Okay, sorry, I understand A until H. But towards that, I don't understand. Oh, okay. Then you can, okay, all right, okay. That means I to M, maybe there's a structure wise, the steps could be wrong, or there might be one or two steps missing there. That's why it gets lost in translation. It goes back to that. Yeah. I mean, in my experience working with an R&D company, when it talks about designing a program ataupun coming up with lesson plans, it takes about 12 to 16 weeks just to come up with a structure, this trial run, discussion, okay, getting feedbacks and everything. And then baru they buat like beta testing. I mean, take a guinea pig participants and then, do a trial run or dry run to see, okay, how was it, teach. From the feedback from the participants, sudah tahu lah, okay, this part was actually quite redundant, or this part I didn't actually understand all the significance of the learning objective. So, and then they face they do like 3 trial runs. So after the 3 dry runs, so then you come up with a solid program that is actually of value and we can actually sell it. That is sellable. So you're talking about like really concentrated effort into that kind of learning objective. That's how to do it. If kalau kita nak buat on the cuff ke, on the fly ke, you can, but probably take 1 or 2 years lah to come up with something solid or even something of value, of which by then baru you are confident enough to sell, which is a long time.
A way to shortcut to the value is to actually prepare the final results lah. Something like macam you have a set
work your way backwards. No, you work your way backwards. You find out the learning objective first. What is the learning objective? Apa yang in this class, what do you want them to learn? What do you want them to gain? Work your way backwards. Okay, and then okay. In your case, you nak them to, what is it? It's always about the objective. It's not about your objective. What's people gonna come into your lessons? What are they gonna gain by the end of the day? Apa sepatutnya dia dah tahu lah. What are you gonna take away from it? Again, from there you kind of get an idea of the value. If you say, this is what I learned to learn, doesn't seem very valuable, or doesn't seem very something that people will pay money for it, for example. Okay, then back to square one. What? It's always about the learning objective first. That's all. That's the most important thing. From there, barulah you're confident enough to structuralize. Let me start from Z, and then you have your A already. then it's all about putting the pieces together. I mean, this is my, and this is supposed to be a podcast, and so we're going to talk about certain topics, socially or whatever. So it goes back to kata, for example, our Malaysian education system, and that's one thing I think it lacked the Malaysian education system. There's a lot of things we learn, but we didn't actually know what the learning objective was. And the teacher pun tak strain on that. What is actually the learning objective? So for example, katalah mathematics kan, we learn mathematics in school dulu. Yeah, in Darjah 1 primary school, we get the point now. Okay, you have to know how to do maths. Because math is, you use something every day. Katalah you go to the shop, you want to count how many change you have in your pocket, how much this thing costs, the kind of value of certain things. You want to buy things. So in that sense lah, as a kid lah, kalau kata bulan ni 20% lah tu, kalau kata nak beli 5, I need how much? Okay, RM1. Okay, things like that. It's a tool of life lah. Okay. Then you get to high school, where math becomes complicated, especially in maths. There was no learning objective ataupun what is the learning goal of why we are learning this kind of complex mathematics equations. Internet kau selalu okay ke?
Lately it's been very bad. I don't know what's been happening. Whether it's a New Year celebration ke
Kau pakai Unify lah.
Aku Maxis Fiber.
Oh, okay. Aku pakai Unify. Aku pakai Time memang alhamdulillah lah. 98% memang efektif lah. Tak ada problem. Kecuali kalau ada buat update or maintenance.
Tapi Time
and
tak
a lot
ada,
of people using Time
tak
pun.
ada ni kan, dekat rumah teres tak ada kan?
Tak ada. Dia high rise saja. That's the problem. But my experience living in high rise using Time dengan Unify, memang Time still better lah. Way better. Unify boleh kali, even though in high rise. Exactly, aku nak reset lah. Yeah, correct. Tapi one thing aku notice, Time ni, kalau banyak sangat device guna, ini memang slow down lah compared to Unify.
Oh.
Itu yang aku perasan lah. Maybe apa kan. Tapi memang I notice lah. Kalau TV on, my wife's using and then aku nak use ke. Something memang slow down.
Rumah aku memang seksa gila lah dah Umar. Tapi just right now my laptop. Okay. And then the PC back there. And then my wife punya laptop. Sekarang ni Yusof tengah pakai. Contohnya. Lepas tu my daughter punya laptop. Lepas tu my phone, my wife punya phone. Ni 3 of my children punya phone. 9 already device yang betul tak ni? Belum lagi kalau my wife turn on dia punya Thermomix tu, itu pun connected.
Does it take a lot of bandwidth ke?
It doesn't take a lot of bandwidth lah. Betul ni. Tapi nak kata it add on the device that is connected to the router lah.
I see. So lah one thing aku rasa Unify kalau banyak guna at the same time, it's better sikit the time lah. Tapi jarang lah instances where you're using a lot of internet at the same time this house. Tapi so far okay, all the people I talk to Time memang quality kan. Very stable. Nice. Exactly.
Tapi aku pun nak tengok lah. Dah lama dah tengok Time because it is so cheap for the price kan. For the bandwidth that you get. Tapi dia tak offer pada
blame Telecom lah for monopolizing.
Itu lah.
Exactly. That's the thing. So I was talking about that, huh? Okay. So about the Malaysian education system, for example, kan. We don't. We know we learn this thing, but there was no learning objective in terms of what you can do and what can that knowledge be used in terms of your future ke apa ke, you know?
Tapi I
Uh,
mean, as children, do you think they will actually care about that one?
no, I'm not talking about primary school. I'm talking about high school. Primary school, saya cakap memang lah. For example,
Oh, okay.
you learn mathematics. For example, kan, I said, for money ke, certain things kau main guli ke apa, whatever ke, those kind of things. Yeah, valuable lah. Like I said, you want to buy candy ke. So if you want to buy, 1 ringgit, how much you can get for what? 20 cent in the candy.
Yeah.
Like that. So mathematics was very useful in that sense lah. For counting, basic counting. But like I said, like once mathematics got more complex, it became kind of apa ni? It became kind of macam, you have to learn it. But is it because it was like, okay, if you know this, then you're a very smart guy. That was like the kind of like the kind of the optics of it all. Or this complex mathematics, you're a smart guy. So we were like, oh, kalau tak pandai ni, you tak apa bodoh lagi. So we're like, okay, when I get better, pandai, how do you know this? It become like a puzzle in a way, macam like a puzzle challenge in a way lah, but not in a funny way. But at the end of the day, we didn't know why we had to learn it. That's the thing. There was no, the concept of the learning objective tu tak ada. You just know, it's not like, there wasn't, I don't know. I mean, I know macam kat overseas kan, they do touch upon this. For example, okay, you don't like physics or you don't like maths, you say you want to become an engineer one day, you have to use these things. You have to understand angles, concepts, engineering, or how machine works, and this kind of conversations. But we don't have that. It's like, okay, you can learn, or you become an engineer, okay, you have to pass mathematics, you pass physics. That was the extent of, okay, kena pass, okay, all right, you didn't know. You have to get good at this. So it didn't become like ingrained in us to motivate us to macam, okay, this is the learning objective of it. Or saying, okay, yeah, for example, kata lanjut English, because of the fact that most people they're not good at English, in our generation, it kind of spoil tau how they, I mean, senang cerita lah, I think English started to become a norm in terms of interviews during our generation. We go anywhere, in interviews memang started dengan memang people can English, even forms pun, orang pun, you're talking about buying a house lah, for example, everything is in English. Even the legal contract in Malaysia, legal document, everything is in English. So because of that, a lot of people, this is a true story lah, I heard kan. A lot of people will buy rumah, and then later down the line, they get into trouble. It was actually in their clause tau. Dia tak faham. And then they get into trouble because of partial payments or whatever, something foreclosure, I'm sure I can term is. But it was something that they missed out because they tak pandai nak baca and understand what was the legal documentation about. I know this happened for a fact to a few people.
But then again, kadang-kadang legal documents tu memang that's the legalist.
They made it so that it's complicated. But the thing is, okay, imagine macam kita pun memang at least there's certain things we understand the terms. Jadi macam kita dengan orang, you give something like English memang for them, banyak kisah nak bawa this English, they didn't properly learn properly. And then it becomes that, even talking about whatever, even simple clause pun, sama juga. Even for example, offer letter ke, employment clause ke, that can become an issue. So even because tak payahlah nak kata complicated like legal form, beli rumah ke kereta ke whatever. And then especially interviews, like I said, a lot of people can get the job they want because they don't do well in interviews, especially the way they speak English. And I've told people, and I have been to, in my lifetime, aku less than 10 interviews I've attended.
Wow. Are you sure?
And it's true. Yeah,
Like very small amount.
memang. I know 41. I tell people, that's not exaggeration, no. Memang betul. And you know why? Because I can get jobs because my English is good too je. I keep telling people the same thing. Nak kata aku ada degree ke, I'm overqualified ke, I'm highly qualified ke, whatever, bukan kena masters ke. I don't have an MBA, I don't have a degree ke, my diploma pun tak tahu ni. Tapi the thing is, I tell people it's because I speak good. I speak very well. And I've been less than 10 interviews. The fact that I know is because I can count. The last five interviews I went to, all of them I got offered a job. Tapi five, that means I turned down three. I turned down three jobs, yang the other two tu yang hectic. And that's just within 2023 lah, within 2021 to 2022 lah. Yeah, correct. The last five interviews in the past 2 years. Nothing. That's what I'm saying. Itulah kata, this kind of things ni, kalau, learning English and all that, like I said, benda macam ni, if people actually said that, somebody told them, okay, why you have to learn this? Why is it important for you to know about languages, whatever, to be articulate and things like that? I'm telling you, we see it, people will start taking it seriously, and then people will want to, do better je. Itu je.
It reminds me of something Jordan Peterson said. He said to mind the way you talk because it matters. How precise your speech matters. So it is sort of like it gives authority to what you are saying based on how precise your speech is. So when people talk like just some slang and it's hard to take seriously lah.
Memang lah. I mean, if there's literature lah, I don't know. I don't think you or Farid know, but Pygmalion lah by George Bernard Shaw. So Pygmalion ni is more famous because it was adapted into a musical from My Fair Lady lah. So Pygmalion is 18-something punya playwright. I mean, George Bernard Shaw is a playwright lah, but Pygmalion is actually a literature, written in 1800s. So the concept is, it's about this linguistics professor who made a bet with people. He said that he can turn a flower girl as in memang people yang duduk tepi jalan lah, never had a proper education. Her English is very scattered. Her slang pun memang very, orang kampung style. Cockney lah, they call it in English. Okay, so one of the bet was that this professor made a bet with one of his colleagues, who's also a linguistic professor. I bet I can teach this girl proper English, talk like a posh English, and because of that, people will want to hire her, and her lifestyle will change, her value will increase, and you wouldn't know that she was actually a flower girl on the streets of London. So it took him 6 months lah. It took him 6 months. I don't know if you heard about the rain in Spain, caused many on the plane. That expression?
No. I think I might have, but I don't.
The
Apa
rain
ya?
in Spain falls mainly on the
The
plain.
reign of
So
Castamere.
basically, so that expression actually comes from that book lah, Pygmalion. So anyway, in that book, eventually memang the power girl became her English was impeccable. She spoke posh English and whatnot. And then her life changed. She was able to get a job as a professor's assistant. People, all the gentlemen started to pursue her and everything. And people thought she was actually from the upper high society of London, not some street flower girl. And the thing is, there's been a lot of social experiments based on that. Sebenarnya, kalau you read literature, I mean, psychological, they actually did that in real life, inspired by this Pygmalion case. Just to see, yeah, I mean, and it happens like there was a few cases, the same person, like an actor lah, kata dia pakai like really like normal clothes, tak shave, and then datang, there's this, I can't remember where I read it lah, datang interview, speak like, like very accented, like middle, lower class, British punya, and then like a week later dia datang in smart, and then, speak in a proper ISIS, posh English and whatnot, and he got the job. So, and there's so many like that. Even in Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken, a few years back pun ada juga. They did a social experiment based on this. I read. And just to test lah whether or not, kalau orang tak percaya. And it's true. I mean, even I should parade a few other statistics lah. About 28% of why, okay, they get the reason why employees don't hire why employers don't hire employees. I gotta check back on I actually saved the infographics. So top 3 reasons. Number 1, the expectations of gaji is too high. Fresh grad dah minta 5,000, 5 to 6,000 gaji. Okay, belum ada experience ni. Number 2 was that the English, the English was bad. About 28% because the English wasn't proper enough. So the interview got lost in translation so many times. Especially when they're asking about certain things, they couldn't answer. So again, you can imagine nearly 1/3 of it is because of the fact that the English is not that good. Exactly. So this is talking about graduates in Malaysia. Not talking about budak SPM, university students. So that's the thing. I mean, for me, goes back to that lah. If it's a shame kalau kita tak, if you realize this, tapi we don't do something about it. I mean, especially nowadays, kan, don't know lah, the kids nowadays with social media and all that lagi lah. Point out, I don't know what their learning objective is, but most probably what they learn is from social media.
That's the thing.
And most probably the learning objective is nak jadi popular, or how do you get Insta famous for you?
Apa namanya? Yeah, so that's one of the things that recently there was the rise of the chat GPT and the AI, all the things that the AI do and everything, right? So when I first tried out chat GPT, and then it was able to come up with quite good answers to, like, for example, if you ask it to write a story, it's quite comprehensible lah. It has a beginning, it has apa namanya, an arch, and it has an ending. So that's like apa namanya, so to the point of there are already stories of some students handing in their papers, and the papers is just out of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So
I heard about that.
yeah. So
Not only
the thing is,
students, people yang buat work report pun ada juga.
ah, so the thing is,
I heard.
if it comes to the point of where this thing become what was the word ubiquitous, it's everywhere, everyone
Ubiquitous,
ubiquitous, yeah. So you the skills will be lost. Just like how we cannot remember phone numbers now. Because everything we just look up on our phone, right? You remember your father's phone number or your mother's phone number. So, so you will lose the kids.
That's
We lose the ability to create the sentences. They can read it.
uh,
They can understand it and then say, okay, I want this one, and submit that one. Right? But they won't be able to create the sentences. They can judge it. This is good enough for me to send as my own work. But they won't be able to create the sentences itself. They will lose that skill.
and it goes back to I'm talking about lost skills, kan? Even writing pun they notice is starting to become a lost skill in US now. I don't know if there's a few kat YouTube videos talking about this. How writing is a lost skill. As in because everything, even they do work, everything is on laptop, everything report is printed or whatever. So the fact that they can write, take notes, apa pun dah tak ada. It's as simple as that, kan? Dah, it's kind of a lost skill that's gonna become extinct juga. Yeah, people type on their phones or computers all the time.
You mean writing as in using pen and paper? I
As
thought you
in,
mean the act of actually writing
no,
a
no, no,
novel
no,
or
no.
what?
I'm talking about pen and paper lah.
Okay.
Exactly. Being able to write. They're talking about budak-budak yang ni lah. I mean, the upcoming generation. How being able to write is kind of a lost skill. I mean, they can write in terms of typing lah, tapi like kalau writing and proper and then is readable, and even nice looking one. It's kind of a lost. It's going to be an extinct punya knowledge.
Yeah.
Kan?
So funny.
Exactly.
Because that, for example, for me, especially with whenever I'm in a meeting or something like that. So I like to take. I actually value very much my Galaxy Tab because the fact that you can actually write as if it's pen and paper, using the pen and you just write the thing. So you can write as if it's pen and paper, but at the same time, because it's digital, you can search later. So like later whenever you need to search apa benda ke, you can actually search, even though it's. I mean, my scribbles is extremely horrible.
Faham
But it's
sama
actually
lah aku punya Apple.
smart enough you can actually
Yeah. My iPad pun sama. Same lah. That's the punishing lah. You can search and then keluar. Because that's the thing lah. Aku bila now that I know how to use note making using a tablet kan. I was wondering how all these years I've been guna buku and pen and paper kan.
It becomes a lot of skill lah, why?
No, because the thing is, with pen and paper, sometimes you just know, what was that note? Either meeting to or something. What was this idea,
Yeah, somebody
That
mentioned something.
so
Yeah.
exactly because I know I remember kalau kau tengok my apa. It's all because I kept notebooks all these years, all those things. Whatever I learn apa semua kan, especially meeting with clients apa kan. So all those ideas and everything one. So the thing is, it's always about nak cari balik kan. Where was that? And your writing memang macam sial sikit kan. So, lagi lah you end up wasting time. Oh, is this one? Alamak. Make it up.
And we're not even doctors, man.
exactly. So that's the thing lah. So bila dah pakai iPad to correct, I've used the search and it's kind of like it's kind of amazing kan. Macam, oh man, you can actually read the fact that I wrote that. Okay. And
Yeah.
then come out all the notes on the apps yang mana satu aku ni put up. And not only that tau, pictures pun dah boleh dah sekarang kat Apple. Say for example, aku tangkap gambar like a restaurant or whatever. Trying to remember apa nama restaurant kan. So aku search dekat my iPhone and all the pictures yang ada tulis restaurant something je akan list down the pictures. Ada signboard ke apa ke ataupun documentation ke. So I was like, wow, amazing. I mean, they pictures lah, faham tak?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tapi itulah, tapi nak kata, I value being able to do the pen and paper movement on the tablet. Because it's so much more convenient than especially if you have to type on one of those soft keyboards like like, you don't feel like apa ni you know not a proper full size keyboard kan, one of those small apa nama ni mini
Foldable.
plastic key. Yeah, portable thing. Macam, oh my god, it becomes apa nama ni, you have to hunt and peck lah rather than actually touch typing because you cannot actually you can't actually feel anything.
Memang, I think everybody is a stylus kot lah. Kalau tablet nowadays.
Yeah.
Keyboard is just for external work je lah. Access internet ke apa ke. Most of the time aku just bawa my Apple Pen pencil dengan tablet je. Unless aku going out and I need to write an email ke apa ke, need to serve the web, pakai lah keyboard aku. Magic keyboard. Sebab it's still not as good as a laptop lah. That's a problem for me. Tapi kalau katalah short work apa ke, okay. Kalau buat video call ke, travelling, nice lah. Anyway. Yeah, it was actually a topic I wanted to talk to before we just started on rambling and how many hours are this? Oh, okay. I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think of the 2022 for you guys?
Oh, okay. But it's not here yet, so I just answer first for myself.
Yeah, can no worries. The highlights, what did you learn? What do you think you could have done differently?
Yeah. So for me, 2022 has been a lot of learning about difficulties. Limitations.
Challenges.
Yeah. Challenges. Financial wise, career wise, family wise. Tapi family wise pun not so much. I think it's more because of the financials yang menyebabkan apa nama ni, there's some friction there. But that's the main take of 2022 lah. It really highlights the sort of like the stagnant state of my career lah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like yes, probably high time.
Did it have a positive effect?
Don't know yet. We'll see. We have to see in 2023. Okay. I mean, for me myself, I intend to make changes lah. I intend to make some changes. Hopefully, because the thing is, the funny thing about my career is that the fact that I've always valued my ability to do technical things. Okay, so the problem with doing technical things is that for the organization, the company, they value more of the managerial rather than the technical. You got to
All
start
com
managing people. You
all
got to start
companies are
managing
like that.
teams. Yeah, I know.
All companies are like that.
So, so that's for me. That's the part where like do I want to let go of this to be able to do this, and that balance lah. On between that lah, the choosing of whether you want to let go the technical to go higher, or you want to let go of going higher to be able to do the technical part. So that's but when you are faced with other problems, priorities change lah. So
Okay.
that's the main thing lah for me 2022. And also because 2022 marks the nak kata proper opening after PKP, after COVID. I feel macam this year we are almost essentially back to normal, but because of PKP itu we are below normal. So we can actually technical wise we can actually function like how we weren't functioning before, but we can no longer do that now. Like for example, I give you that's very simple example is for example Maulana. So before this they were able to function 24/7. Yeah, after PKP they don't have enough staff to function 24/7 anymore. So now they have to
Not
close
just Maulana,
by
even McDonald's pun sama.
yeah. So now they have to close by 11 o'clock. Then they close.
Yeah.
So
Even McDonald's pun at 2 o'clock kan or something like
yeah.
dah close. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so even though by law we can actually go back to how it was before, but things are not how it was before yet because of we have actually gone below. So 2022 is like just the starting of the recovery, and I'm hoping that 2023 will be able to fully recover lah.
Ni pula dah China punya beginner zaman dah ada all the speculation and fear coming back because of China pula. The variants and all that.
So the headline on Facebook saying that the variants from China is already here in Malaysia, already confirmed 2 cases.
Yeah, 2 cases. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And MOH pun dah start to nak push people to get booster shots and all that.
Yeah.
People are starting to not wear masks or kind of enjoying the freedom. Going back to normal. Even politically pun we seem to be, on the verge of stability. Now suddenly tiba-tiba all this tsunami from China pula. COVID cases are coming and all that, new variants and everything. Itulah. Let's hope it doesn't hamper the mood or people don't start to become, paranoid again. Exactly. For me, I mean, this COVID, from what I'm understanding and my experience, it's about, actually, most people misinformed. It's not about the fact that kalau dapat COVID, bukannya teruk pun macam dulu, kena hospitalize lah, and it's just demam biasa, you can wear it off, just wear it off or whatever. The thing is, it's post-COVID yang bahaya. It's the post-COVID yang the bigger issue, to be honest. And we just don't realize that. I mean, I know a case, someone, one of my friend's wife dapat COVID 3 times. And now she has a heart problem. She has a heart problem dah. Dah rosak jantung ni. Exactly. I mean, and when I was in hospital, there was this guy who had a blood clot in his stomach because of post-COVID. He started puking blood, and he's only like 27 years old. Paksa he had to do an operation. He cut perut dia. And then after that, twice an operation. One that he cut perut, the other one had to buka, cut like part of his stomach yang memang macam dah rosak tu, and then join back. Exactly. I mean, those are the stories that I know. Belum tahu lagi pasal kes yang pulmonary embolism ke, myocarditis ke. Yang I know there are cases lah for that, but I don't know those people personally. I mean, that's lagi dah long term. We hear a lot of cases sekarang ni yang people yang below 40 yang meninggal sebab heart attack. So many cases I've heard. There was a UPM lecturer last week. I don't know you know about this case or not. 37 years old, the UPM lecturer. He collapsed tengah jogging marathon. On the way to hospital, died. Baru 37 and he's not one of those. Memang he's one of those like really health fanatic lah. Exactly. So we don't know, is it because apa ni, bukan kata conspiracy theory ke apa kan? Is it because of dia ambil apa ni, vaccine ke, or is it because of he had post-COVID issues ke apa? Exactly, because last time you rarely hear lah people yang kena heart attack before age of 40. You heard about it, tapi very rare. Since COVID ni dengar, I think there are a few cases. My wife's friend pun ada lah, I know that. Itulah. I mean, be careful in that sense lah. Don't just think because it's not there. Or people dah kata dah okay dah. Then you don't have to worry about it. Exactly. So what else about 2022?
This year was the year that I try to start balik getting involved in Ikram.
Yeah.
So before this, I avoided trying to be active in it because of my wife is active in it, so I would just be stepping back, taking care of the kids whenever she has a program and everything. But now that the kids are old enough to take care of themselves, so apa namanya, even the programs that the both of us go together, we just leave the kids and then we go lah. So we just
They don't follow.
They don't have to follow lah. We just prepare the food and everything. So
wasn't that like a kids activity? The one on Saturday tu. Ada bouncy
Saturday
castle
hari tu, yes.
and all that.
Yang Saturday hari tu memang ni lah, the whole family pergi lah. There's memang family day. Tapi whenever there's daurah ke, there's sama or something, so we don't have to bring the kids. We don't have to think about whether there's a nursery ke apa benda. We just leave the kids and then both of us can go. Jadi that sort of like provide a change in the kind of work that I'm doing lah. So I got to make time lah for that. And actually that's one of the things that I find it quite difficult actually. Even until now I'm finding it difficult to actually spend the time to actually do the job required lah. So that's like, for example, last year, this year lah, I was in charge of the program for Ramadan celebration, and there was a lot of things that could have gone better if I have actually spent the time to plan it earlier. So if I have planned it earlier, I have actually assigned people to it. So it would have gone a whole lot smoother rather than everything like on the fly lah.
Okay.
So and the thing is, the reason why it wasn't planned earlier was just because of that, because I didn't actually spend the time. I didn't actually carve up, my week to have the time for me to think about that particular domain. So I find that I gotta think about my work, as in my work, and then I gotta think about my personal projects yang that I'm doing apa semua tu ni. So now I've got to also think about apa ni ikram punya apa namanya responsibilities and things like that lah. So so it's actually quite an adjustment lah, which I'm still somewhat struggling with, but hopefully in 2023 we'll be doing better lah. Another
Struggling
major.
in why do you say struggle? I mean you already I mean
Because
back
I
then
know-
you used to be dulu kan, I mean you used to be active in other extracurricular activities also kan.
Yeah.
I mean isn't that something that you kind of get used to it?
I don't know, because hey, alright.
Hi.
Like I said, it becomes a struggle in a way because sometimes because I don't prioritize it. I know it's my responsibility, but apart from it being my responsibility, I don't feel like doing it. Like so,
Oh, then that's
where
internal
the struggle comes
conflict
lah.
lah.
Yeah.
Internal conflict lah. It's not like you don't plan.
I mean,
It's not more like you malas nak plan lah because you don't want
yes,
to.
yes. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's another major thing for me lah, which I hope to God that I'll be able to continue in 2023. If so since November, I think end of October or early November, I started walking. I target 3,000 steps a day. So Alhamdulillah, on the weekdays too, almost confirmed that I will be able to achieve it. I will walk at the late in the morning, and even on the days that is raining or I was too busy in the morning to do it, I will actually compensate by going to IOI City Mall at lunch. And lunchtime.
Then you walk around in IOI.
Yeah. So from the new wing, you go all the way to the other end, you go all the way back, it's 4,000 steps.
Oh my God.
So the thing is, but the thing that motivated me the most this time around is because before this there was the motivation of want to get dinner or something like that. But right now the main motivation for me is actually a simple thing whereby I found that on the days that I walk, I am able to sit up much more better than the days that I don't walk. When I don't walk, I find that my back hurts when I'm working. So you're working at the computer the whole day and everything. I find that my back hurts a whole lot more faster rather than the days that I walk. So the days that I walk, I can work a whole lot more longer.
So like take acid or
the days that I don't walk, it's like the back is a bit stronger on the days that I walk. You got probably got enough stretching done.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Like a warm up.
So that's the So I hope to be able to continue in 2023. I joke with my wife saying that probably my New Year resolution will be to have target 5,000 steps.
5,000.
A lot,
5,000.
which I know is not a lot, but I want to follow the Dilbert principle of you set your target so low you cannot fail. That's some of the things for 2022, 2023.
So what's you guys been talking about?
Oh, macam-macam.
I was talking about
education
Yang
system
punya-
lah, apalah.
Anyway, aku memang come up with a topic for this. Now we're rambling about maybe an hour about some stuff lah. But I actually had a topic coming to hand. That's why I asked you guys about what was 2022 like for you. Itu dia punya cerita tadi. Just now.
I see. Okay. Tapi do like talk about apa future 2020 punya aspiration?
Itulah nak do 5,000 steps lah tu.
The first
Aspiration for
step.
2023. Okay, can understand.
Do 5,000 steps, being more assertive in my career. I don't know what that means yet. But
Yeah, correct. More into management or technical part. Yeah. All right. Oh, I can go next. So for me, 2022 is very, very, I think in the past few years, and this year was like the longest year I ever had. 2020 and 2020, I think because 2020 and 2020, especially 2020 because I'm MCO, time went by so fast. We can go rumah and we didn't do anything a lot. 2021 was that kind of 50-50, and so this year because there was a lot of events, there was a lot more social events, there's a lot more traveling involved. So for me, one thing that I noticed this year, last year, was it was a longer year, very long. I mean, even I told you guys my this week I didn't. Sorry, this Monday. Last week the final week of 2022. I wasn't working, so it just happened I had a fever the whole week also.
so it was a holiday,
But the week before, I also was working like 3 days in. And the funny thing is, I felt like I was off for like 1 month now. Macam sebulan tak kerja. And last week pun, I'm not sure if it was because I was sick or if it was sick, and then I was sleeping most of the time, I was resting just to get better. It felt very long. I feel like I've been off for 1 month. But if you look at calendar, it's like only like 1 week. And then before from 3 days pun, I feel like I was like 2 weeks having off day. Exactly. But in a sense, tak ada lah. When my momentum didn't go down lah, even though I was like working like 2 days in a week, 2 weeks ago kan. Tapi one thing memang, it was weird lah. It was like, you really feel like you're on a break lah. Like a real break. I mean, but then of course I kind of spoiled it because of I had a fever the whole weekend. And I'm still recovering. Up to Saturday it was quite bad. Yesterday was okay lah. So I think for me 3 things lah. Number 1 is the health. Health definitely. A lot of health scares, a lot of health issues that I faced this year, 2022. I was in and out of hospital a few times. Always getting tests. Got my first endoscopy and second. And then of course I got COVID. I was hospitalized twice. I think memang this year, I mean 2022 was the most I've ever been to the doctors ever. And I am on constant medication from January until December until now. That's that kind of there's a few things about health. Number 1. Second thing about health is that I lost a lot of weight also. I got down to my ideal weight finally, and it felt different. So one thing that I wish I knew, 5 years ago or 6 years ago, is that when you lose a lot of weight, you feel like you shave off years of your life. You do. You feel younger in terms of your mental
Interesting
health,
insight.
in terms of your physical health, emotional. It's true.
Memanglah true, tapi it takes you so many years to realize.
That's why I said lah. If I knew this like 5-6 years ago, macam lah kau tahu Farid.
Aku
thing
tahu
is-
lah.
No, the thing is, you have to be macam ni tau.
Tapi why
It's like,
talking about just nak cakap tentang bagi health wife kan. Aku kagum gila dengan Farid. Pasal
Kenapa
memang
lah?
staff. Aku dah letih nak mampus dah tengok. Tapi he continue duk angkat dia punya katil dia punya non-stop kan. Alah,
oh,
this guy is a workhorse man.
Dolang kau naik tangga pun dah penat Dolang.
Lepas tu dia
That's what I'm
kelakar je
saying.
kan. Lepas tu dia kelakar je. When I said to my wife about it lah. Betul ni. Lepas tu my wife punya jawapan apa? Lepas tu siapa nak pindahkan dia kalau bukan dia yang pindah. Betul ke? Betul ke?
That's how, well, that's how it should be lah. When just 40 belum lagi we're 60 apa ke. But that's the thing though, in terms of, it's not just even my way of thinking. I met a few people that thought I was younger than my age. Even though aku, I'm balding and all that. So many people, especially my work colleagues lah kan. Every time, because we don't get to see each other that much, kecuali when we have quarterly meetings. So that's usually we have like online meetings and daily online meetings and things like that. But quarterly meetings when we get together ke macam annual dinner. So that's when we actually socialize and talk about, ourselves, more personal or not. And then when I tell them I'm like 41, you're like, what? So you're younger than me. How old are you? I'm 37. What? Well, this is like bukan tua. This is like 3-4 people said the same thing. And then a few weeks ago aku naik Grab pun talking about
Tapi the people yang kata they thought you were younger tu Mak Saleh ke?
tak ada. There's a Filipino guy, Indian guy, Indian girl, sorry. Mak Saleh I got there's only one je from Slovenia in my company.
Oh, okay. Sebab kalau Mak Saleh memang dia tua cepat.
Not really. There's this guy.
Tapi the Indian girl is like, that's quite surprising lah because Indians are lebih kurang sama macam kita lah. Dia macam apa namanya? If you don't
It is
wrinkle
slowly.
up, if you don't wrinkle up, you sort of like macam kekal muda.
Well, that's the thing. She was like 37. I was like, this is like middle of the year. After that, like 6 months aku kerja, and then when I told her, she was like, what? And then the same thing happened to this, that day was a World Cup. No? I talked to this Grab driver also. And I thought, and then I said I was 41. Huh? Wait a minute, like, you're 41. I was born 1984. That means I'm younger than you. Younger than you. Yeah. Of course. Why? I thought I was older than you. Okay. Oh, okay. So that happens a lot. So that's the thing. I think it's health-wise, I guess, to keep better health does make you feel younger and make you look younger in a way, I guess. And then secondly, I think it's more about gratitude, being appreciative of things. So being present, being grateful, being gratitude in a constant state of gratitude. That is very important. Because like I said, because of my health scares and everything. So there was a lot of self-reflection I had to do. Banyak in Arab they call it Sabah kan. So there's a lot of things that I had to reflect one day, and then things that I needed to change spiritually, mentally, physically, and there was a lot of patience also that I had to go through, especially because I had my son this year. So I think I got to that's one of the things that I have to look for the joy in all things, no matter what the challenges, what kind of hardships or whatever. I've always been like that lah. Tapi I think this year I kind of took it as another step. I was always worrying. Because I constant rate of worrying. Yeah, always in and out of hospital and then seeing doctors. Every month I got 2 doctor's appointments, and every time it's always a diagnosis is different. And I was supposed to go under the knife, kan, it was the operation. But thankfully, doctor checked. They said everything was okay. I told her, she's quite surprised. I said I made a lot of changes. I lost a lot of weight and everything. And then I made a lot of lifestyle changes. So they saw my height and hernia ataupun reduce. So it's a tire operation lah. So I just keep you under surveillance every 2 months. Check out. Exactly. And I think last kali it's you never stop learning. I think, but this one I've always known. But you never stop learning. It's very important, especially in our age. When we're 40, most people think dah 40 dah, we should be, moving ourselves to the top or using our experience to our foundation is already strong, so use it to build ourselves up. Yeah, correct. That happens, but at the same time, there's always something new to learn. I think it's a mistake lah. Kalau I've seen people in their 40s, they like okay lah 40, they start to think about retirement because they probably like another 10 years, 20 years, yeah. So they've got weight, whatever, or anything, saving up for retirement. But for me, no, it's never stop learning. So there's always things. There's always there's always mistakes that you can keep on doing, and then there's always knowledge that you can learn from people above you, and there's always avenues or channels that you never knew before that you can always discover. But you got to be actively discovering. You got to be actively searching. Then and only then, barulah those discoveries can find you. Yeah, and that goes back to it goes back to your own value lah. Kata nak summarize again, kalau for me 2023 kan, it's about not rediscovering lah, but more on understanding and really cementing your value lah. If you don't know your value, ataupun you lost your value over the years, okay, it helps to just nak re-cement it back, understand balik yourself, go back to basics, and know what makes you valuable. And I'm not talking about in work though. I'm talking about to your family, to your wife, to your son, to your kids, to your friends and things like that. I think a lot of people that's a lost art lah. Most people, especially in the age of social media, again. If you're famous on Instagram or TikTok, that's where your value is. Oh, I'm famous, these people watch my video, even though it's full of shit or whatever. But that's your value. But it goes back to you have to know lah. It's not, what can you contribute to society, contribute to people around you, what kind of changes you can make, what kind of impact you can have, things like that. So that's very important. I keep telling people that it's not about what it's not about especially work lah kan, or even being a family. It's not just being present in your family or being good at your work and making your paycheck. It's about what kind of value you can contribute, what kind of value you can give. So I've had experience lately. I met a few students. I went to the trade shows, exhibitions, and all that. Yeah, and then I had the opportunity to talk to some students. That's why I keep telling them. And it's quite weird tau. Kalau I think, and I don't know about you guys from your experience, but the younger people nowadays they're very impressionable though, compared to dulu. And I think that's why social media has such an impact on them now. Whatever they learn on social media, memang they follow lah, nak buat, this trending, the stupid trends. that orang buat just for the sake of doing it kan. Apa? Remember there was the one that they ate the soap apa tu? Oh, is that lah?
The Tide
Chai
challenge.
lah.
Hmm.
Chai, exactly. Bukannya ada tujuan pun, just because okay, you know, benda tu is fucking poison. Nak makan soap. But people did it because why? Because that's their value, you know. I want to be famous because I took the Tide challenge and things like that. And the thing is, what they discovered kan, this year I think because before this I never had the opportunity to talk to younger people. I did have lah, tapi not as much as this year. But they're very impressionable in that sense now. So it's kind of dangerous lah kan, especially macam I think because I have a kid now, then you guys want your own kids kan. So I'm like, I wonder if this is the kind of people, that's how they think kan. I wonder, you know, my kid nanti macam mana lah kalau katalah if I don't coach him or go through life with him in a proper way. Tapi in my case, I'm impressionable in a good way. Imagine kalau aku fikir jahat, you know, I could have gone away with them, you know. For example, kalau aku nak buat benda nak buat yang tak baik, and I know you can get away with it. That's the dangerous thing I hear. Oh my God. Exactly. I mean, once you get to reach at 40, especially for our case, and then like, you know, we got 41, so just above 40, and then next year we got 42. It becomes it becomes something that you have to kind of reflect balik lah, what does doing 40 mean.
We are 42 this year, Mai. Not next year 42.
Yelah, alah, one day je aku. Yelah. Yelah,
New
we are
year,
42 this year. Kau datang aku dengan Dolas tadi cakap pasal 2023 banyak kali lah. Kau datang dah lupa. But yeah, correct. I mean, you know, I mean last year just going beyond the threshold of 40 and being 41. So I think that's why it kicks in that concept of maturity and what you can bring, your value, especially. I think when you're 20s, 30s, the values you're talking about is very different when you're 40. So it's very important. Exactly. And I think it's very important that we use our knowledge and what we know and, you know, all the lessons we have in life to start think about giving value to others and impart your knowledge. Get someone to listen to you lah. Itu je. That for me lah, it's like, I mean, in your case, some management, the technical, whatever, yeah, I think that's where, you know, in CIMB's case, and because it becomes more valuable if your management, because you have something to impart your knowledge to. If you're learning for the sake of you learning and you just knowing, then you are not valuable in that sense. If you can pass on your knowledge and duplicate, it will become more valuable to CIMB, of course, in a sense. So they have multiple. But even in life, you can, you know, impart your knowledge and people will listen to you. I think that's very important. That was interesting. I had an interesting experience with these two girls. And the funny thing is, I was actually approached by them at exhibition. I think they just wanted to talk from there. So, and both times I noticed, when I was talking, you're talking about my life experience, work, because both of them are students, kind of looking forward to have a careers and everything. So when I was talking, I don't know why, first time in a long time, I've seen people wide-eyed now. You know? I was like, oh, these girls was like Jacko, you know? They were wide-eyed, macam like respect gila lah. I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking, oh my God, imagine katalah you've been married for so long and your wife, doesn't have your, katalah tak ada spark, or your wife sees you like another bum. Like, oh, it's like, and you get a girl like that, kan? Macam, oh, someone was like talk to you and then keep interacting with you, and then macam wide-eyed, and like, I'm talking about bukan macam dia saying macam, oh, tell me more, I was like, oh,
Attention,
okay.
the attention.
Nah, it's like you don't ask for it, but they're
Crave for
giving
it,
it.
crave.
Crave, that's okay, aku tak crave pun. I
Tak,
didn't know I
crave,
needed
not
it.
crave.
Ya, aku tak crave pun. I was just talking, faham tak?
No, I'm not saying create. Crave.
Ya, aku tak crave.
Okay.
C-R-A-V-E,
No,
aku
I'm
tahu
not
lah.
talking you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about other people. It
No, I'm
goes
talking
back
about
to
my
kau cakap tu.
experience. Jangan
Okay.
cerita pasal other people. So I'm talking about my experience. I'm
Okay.
talking about, I was, like I said, I was just talking. And then the way she was looking at me was like, wow. Okay, aku just cakap. And then by the end, can I have your phone number? Okay. Man. And then she actually called me, and then ajak keluar. I went out with her again last week, 2 weeks ago. Pergi Starbucks and all that. And then just borak again. She brought a book. And I'm reading this book. He said, oh, okay. I was like, okay. And then tell me what kind of books you read. Oh, okay, what's the name? How come you can be successful and all that in your job semua. Okay. Cakap lah. Is that someone interview? Tapi instead of, like I said lah, macam nak dengar for the sake of hearing, you can see lah macam wide-eyed, macam, oh, okay. Macam jakun and like, okay, admire. I'm like, okay, I think this is why people get into trouble. And it was twice. It happened twice now.
When you get the red pill, kau kena red pill ni, boy.
But that's the thing lah.
You gotta start listening to Andrew Tate ni. Then you will understand your craving you. That's what man is looking for lah. Somebody
But that's the thing lah. Aku tak ada
have an impression on.
But that's the thing lah. I was like, for me it's like, okay. It was, like I said, it was interesting. Tapi tak ada lah macam something I wanted to pursue apa ke. Like I said, kalau macam aku, I was, like Farid said, I was craving for it ke. Or I enjoyed, being a player ke apa ke. That's probably what I would have done. I would have, selalu message ke, for example. Constantly message and ask to go out and all that, things like that. But I thought that for me, it was interesting because I think we all, given, it goes back to Nita, what would you do if you were put into that situation now? Any guy lah, kau ke Farid ke kan, I was wondering kan, I bet, I mean, I will be different lah kan, it will be different. Punya reaction ke apa. I mean, it's like
Harvey Weinstein.
But for me, it's like bukan nak kata new experience tau. It was like a experience like macam, okay. I mean, at this stage kan, I mean, you wouldn't think like, oh, a 19-year-old, 20-year-old will be into me, I'm like, okay. I was like, okay. It's interesting. And then the fact that, like I said, it's like you actually have this impression, like I said, their impression of it, but you can create this impression on them. And they're interested in you. I was like, okay. That's interesting. Why would anybody be interested in me? But like I said, so it's like, so for me, it's like I said, bukan aku pursue kamu benda kan. I mean, she still messages me kan. Aku macam, okay, just like that lah. Kan. Of course, you have to draw the line in a sense lah kan, kalau if anything. But what I find interesting, like I said, it's like, so imagine kalau, like I said, this is one person versus me, talking about other people. Imagine all these other people yang, you know, yang like higher people, yang they get that kind of opportunity or situation comes to them, you know, and it might not be, they would react probably in a way that, where, like I said, that the affairs lah, you know, kahwin dua and all that. Yeah, I mean, kalau you have being impressionable towards people, how, I mean, not that hard for you to change that perception and sway your way, you know.
I mean, that's the thing, man, because the years that I've always been involved with, you know, gym, lepas tu ikram and apa semua untuk ni kan. And that one is even the magnetism tu is even worse. So especially kalau you are able to talk nicely about apa nama ni, agama dan apa semua tu ni kan. Oi. Macam ni kan. Macam you hear of people that is using agama tu untuk supaya dia jadi player.
Itu
budak sana sini lah macam, where this guy pening banget. And the thing is, you can't, I mean, how can you blame the ladies? They are just looking for somebody to guide them. And here's a guy who is somewhat knowledgeable and willing to guide them. And it's really a fire hazard.
Memang tu kata. It's just that it's jadi macam tu lah kan. In a danger in that sense lah. Itulah. Especially because aku perasan girls nowadays memang, I mean, you know, younger people lah, not just girls. Memang they're more impressionable kan. Exactly. So in that sense, it's sorry. In that sense, it's itulah kata, especially because when they're like that lagi lah, they rely on social media to get information. Lagi lah, it's dangerous kan. Okay. Wait, apa untuk tunjuk tu? So Farid, how about you? What was your 2022?
Yeah, my interesting lah. Because I hadn't heard about Dolah punya ni kan, apa reflection of his 2022. So yours more of apa kau punya new things that you encounter lah, correct?
Tapi actually, you know, I don't know whether just before we move on, sebelum aku terlupa. I thought that one of the things that Umar would mention was that, you know, the challenges of being a father.
Oh,
I guess he just took it in his stride and like macam, you know, like this is easy, man.
I think that's why Umar cakap about he's learning a lot of new things, even though he's at 40, he learns a lot of things. So but it never mentioned about the fatherhood thing lah. I think more towards a broad thing.
Tak ada lah, sebab it's like macam, no, for me it's like macam no brainer.
Yeah,
macam,
that's what I'm saying. So you just took it in your stride, you didn't feel it. Like
you go. Same like if you ask me the challenge of being a newlywed ke apa kan, I never talked about that because it's a no brainer lah for me.
For you no brainer, Mai.
About the people. It's like this tau. It's I guess it goes back to expectations. Maybe because kita dah been programmed all this while about fatherhood ke ataupun being a husband ke apa ke, that you have this set of expectations and guidelines, not guidelines lah, I think more expectations or kind of, you know, what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to experience and all that, and you get jumbled up in your, bila it happens, aku ingat kahwin macam ni, rupanya macam ni, you know. I thought your wife's supposed to do this for you, or you know, and that's what I noticed when people get married. That's the first thing aku notice. Aku ingat dah kahwin ni, you know, wife aku selalu masak, aku selalu masak, I think like that example kan. Aku ingat wife aku tolong aku gosok baju lah, aku juga gosok baju kan. All this thing lah, and all that. So, and I noticed that kan, aku cakap, oh okay. That's the thing lah. First thing aku kena eliminate. I have to kind of expectations tu. There's expectations, but at the same time, do not expect things from her. You have to expect from you sebenarnya first, and then baru the expectation from your wife come. And fatherhood pun sama juga. Don't
For
expect
me lah,
people.
my own personal is that for me, becoming a father was very very different than becoming a husband lah. Because apa namanya, becoming a husband, you're taking on somebody who is fully already cognitive. She can think for herself. Dia tak ada because yeah, tapi you know, she can think for herself and then she's responsible for herself. Kita guide lah whatever that we can semua kan. Tapi apa nama ni, benda tu is not the same intensity as a newly born, yang mana everything about that person is dependent on you. Jadi
Goes back to aku faham what you're saying.
Yeah,
That's more on perception. I guess it goes back to for me it's the same thing. Expectation and perception lah. Nak kata father tak challenging, tapi for me it's like tak tahu, macam kan kata memorable. It's just that I don't. I thought it's not like something that I didn't expect lah. In other words, it's not like something happened. I didn't expect I to do this. That's the thing. There was no instance where I didn't expect I had to do this. So I expected I had to do this and all this. Maybe emotional journey tu, it's a bit different sebab, you know, for example, your kids are sick apa benda kan. At first lah, for example, first time your kid falls ke, first time kid gets sick ke, you cannot shit, you know, that emotional journey tu awal lah. But then after that you're like, oh okay, this is actually normal, right? It wasn't, bukan kata boring tau, tapi for me macam okay, just kira je lah. I don't know. It's not like you have to come up. Dia macam ni lah. You don't have to come up with new ideas lah. That is, I think, maybe makes it different in terms of, I'm not sure about other people punya experience lah. Maybe they have to come up with ideas, handle the situation when it comes to having a wife and raising a son kan. So for me, it's like I don't necessarily have to come up with new ideas. I just have to use my experience that I had before in life. So when it comes to my wife, okay, not necessarily experience in terms of relationship with a friend. Sometimes it could be a relationship I had with a friend, with my mom, or with my, you know, siblings or whatever. I use facets of that. Same with having a son. How do I manage people before in terms of my work? I use that a lot. Macam aku manage people. And how, in my case, aku banyak kena baca in my son. A lot of the times I read him and watch him more than anything. So remember I talked to you about how I can, aku boleh tidurkan my son very quick and my wife tak berhati. How do that? He said she thought I was being apa? It was pure luck lah. Like my babies, you know, he's more accustomed to me, things like that. But not really. It's just I picked up cues though. There's a telltale lah. People ni ada punya telltale. They have their own cues. They have their telltale signs. If you look properly. Once you know that, okay, then you know lah. Okay, this is how to handle. Sama je macam my wife. Certain things. So in terms of fatherhood, in that sense, but of course dia ada phase yang changes lah. After 3 months dia akan berubah sikit. Okay, when you have to find out, okay, what changed, what's different.
Interesting. Itulah kau punya apa dia? What you say?
How about you?
Oh, you mean my reflection for 2022?
22 and going on to 23.
Itulah, I think I had a very busy 2022 for me. I think one of it is because because after more than 4 years like the baby, and then suddenly the baby came in last year, the year 2021, but the growth is basically happening during the 2022 lah. So basically those is one of it actually started off as what I would say a busy week 2021 lah, 2022. And then after that is it's all about pindah rumah, fixing up the house, doing all those defects, everything, and then moving in everything, and then plus whatever that I actually facing during my while working on the previous company in terms of handling friction between department, as well as getting those revenue coming in. So those are some challenges. I would say a bit busy lah. And then start in October, I start a new place. That's another cycle of understanding a new company, that sort of thing. So I would say that the year is quite busy for me in 2022. So a lot of things actually happening. A lot of good things seems to be happening during 2022. Expecting more to come in within that span of time from October until December. There's a lot of things that I learned, a lot of things that I did able to catch up, able to start off very, I would say it's very a good start for 2023 lah. So something that I'm actually looking forward. So that basically there's no regret lah. I never feel like alamak, I should be doing this, I should stay in my old company, I should be asking something when I went to a new company. So there's not a lot of, I would say, regrets lah. But I think whatever that happened is basically just a cycle of, just a learning curve lah for you to actually move to the next one. So I think in a way, not really much of meaningful insight for myself lah. I do agree what Umar cakap lah, when you actually shave a few kilograms of your knee, you definitely will look younger lah. That's definitely lah.
Feel younger.
Feel younger, one thing lah. The mentality of feeling younger is also important lah. If you younger than the rest.
Kata.
See, baru je cakap. We're talking about perempuan admiring you.
Jalan. Sana susu.
Okay, so itulah feel a bit younger lah compared, and then definitely you have to act young, especially when I move to a new company. Alah.
Tak baju lah.
Alamak. Jangan. Nanti kau ni lah. Kau edit. Okay, so feel a bit young. Itulah, I think it's about mentality lah, because right now, like I said lah, I'm working with a bunch of really young people lah in my department. So yeah, so I'm currently it's quite interesting lah. The team I'm working with basically all young people who are early 20s, who actually just graduated.
Early 20s.
Probably early 20s, basically below 30 lah, below 30. So you have to actually act young. You have to actually be more energetic in a way.
Boy, act young. What do you mean act young?
Kena
Act
act
young
young
lah.
lah, energetic
Act young is not like macam how you, how are you? But act young basically, you just have to.
You don't have to act young, Farid. You just have to be young.
Bukan act.
There's no acting.
It's I mean, it's not about acting. Acting is a way of apa?
Nah, kau yang cakap act young, Farid.
Yelah, act
Use
young.
that
What I
verb.
mean by act young is by it's not acting young. It's act young is basically just just represent yourself as a young person lah, not someone yang very old, yang very macam the gap 20 years is you have to have that gap.
Be young lah. Kau cakap, you don't have to act young. You just have to be young here.
Okay.
Okay, we go on.
That's my
Do or do
philosophy.
not.
You don't have to act.
That's your mind. That you cannot actually implement your punya mental to my way of understanding. Ni lah,
I'm giving you. I'm giving
this
you.
is what happening to the
Balik.
world right now.
But before you join,
What?
aku dengan Umbai was
Aku
talking
bagi
about
kata.
the precision of languages. They have to speak very precisely.
What I'm saying, aku bagi kau tips. Be young instead of act young saja.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so goes back to my be young. So I'm being young. So yeah, because so we actually I mean itulah, I mean because the majority of the team basically like early 20s, below 30. So you have to understand their lingo, that sort of thing, how they because you have to work with them eventually, because compared to other company that I work with, so the range of age that I'm mixing with internally will be someone young within my age or a bit older. So this is the first time that I actually engage with someone who's a bit younger. I mean, way much younger lah, about like 15 years gap. So the mentor is there. I mean, the way they talk to you pun macam a bit pelik, tapi you have to understand lah, because you are talking to someone who is young and then they want to respect you, so the way they talk to you will be a bit different lah. So I mean,
well, that's where maturity comes in. That's why I think it's interesting though. If you do have, I mean, if you talk macam kita supposed to talk and you show your maturity, automatically people just respect you and listen to you lah. I mean, like I said, I mean, this is my experience. It's not that you command it tau. Like I said, aku bukannya macam craving attention. I didn't crave. Aku just be myself and talk. And suddenly, you know, these people are listening to me and they're interested, which I thought was interesting lah kan. On that effect lah. And I think that again goes back to what I cakap lah, in our age ni kita. Maturity is very important kan, because at our age we should have a lot of things to talk about and be matured and knowledge impact. It's whether or not you realize it or not, kita ada tak that inside of you tu je.
I mean that's true lah, I mean I do agree with you lah, because when I work with them, I mean a bit young, so there are part of me that I would like to actually share with them lah. What I know of everything, I'm basically willingly to actually share lah. But sometimes lah, I mean for me, before you impart some of your knowledge, basically it depends on you have to ask for it lah. You can't just impart your knowledge, because you're not sure whether they're actually going to take it. I mean, is whether they want to take it or not is a second thing lah. But so
isn't
for
that
me,
that's what you use? That's where you use your skill, especially in sales.
correct. I mean that's.
It's like this tau. You don't. I mean, tak tahu lah. You should still remember, not in sales. In sales, it's not that kita tak create, that the person doesn't want to buy, but we have to create a reason for them to buy, correct?
Yalah.
So it goes back to that lah. So sama lah macam, when I'm talking about,
Okay.
you know, I'm talking about experience younger people. I'm talking about also my clients. Yang aku deal with dengan you know, GLCs and all that. Selalunya my first gatekeeper is always this young people juga yang grad. They always pass to them lah. Sebab the senior semua malas nak ni. So I the first person aku kena cakap ni. So it's my job to charm them lah. That's how aku find a relationship.
Okay.
But once I get to charm them, lepas tu it's easy for them to accept. They use the, you know, the power of influence to talk to other people yang higher, and eventually I get to the DM, like decision makers. So my point is like I said lah, it's not about kita tunggu, you know, in my case, like I said, this is sales lah, purely like aspect. You know, wait for them to create the need or find the need, and then they cari you. You create that need. Why does this person need to listen to you? And you do it in a way that bukan paksa tau. And you do it in a way, it's not that kita paksa or there's a trickery to it or whatever. It's you showing interest in them so that they show interest in you balik. Reciprocating. That's always been the key, right? If you show an interest in someone you're talking to, especially macam younger people lagi lah, when they have only friends on social media aja banyak, they don't have real friends in the real world, and a lot of information they get from social media, like I said. So when someone is actually willing to talk to them, willing to impart knowledge that's not on a computer ataupun on a, you know, phone screen, they will eat it up. I'm talking about experience. This is what happens. Maybe like I said, aku pun tak realize this thing. Only this year aku perasan dealing with all this younger people ni, aku perasan, okay, they are impressionable, but we do it in a way that is respectable lah. And the best way, like I said, you have to create interest by showing him your interest in you. Don't show interest about kau nak ngorak dia. There's a way lah. Kadang-kadang kita terlalu interested, nanti dia get, dia jatuh belakang pula.
Pasal dealing with girls.
Dah kebanyakan aku deal with.
Yeah, just wait.
Kau tahu tak kalau
I think yeah, because I do agree with you, Mai. Basically, you have to, I mean, you have something to sell, then basically you have to create it. But maybe
I'm not talking about girls, I'm talking about my other juga client.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you're trying to say, but what I'm trying to say here is basically, if you have something to sell, I mean, for me, I don't have anything to sell because I.
When you don't have something to sell.
Yeah, because what you say, because when we want to create interest, you have to have something to sell.
Not necessarily.
That's why I mean, that you're working. That you have something to sell, either your idea, your knowledge, your experience. I have nothing to sell because I do have that, but I don't have intention to sell. I don't intention.
Kenapa?
I mean,
why not?
Why should I? I mean,
well, if you say you got a lot of experience, you say you can do better. You can put value into other people's life. So why not?
Correct. So that's why I mean for me it's not about getting them to be interested. I mean, for me it's like, okay lah, I have something that I just give it. It's not something that I have to wait for them to come, or I have to charm them, or I have to. I have. Yeah, it's true that I do have something to sell, but I don't have really like macam do market about it. So it's more like, okay, I do have it. If you want, you can take from me. I'll give it for free. I don't have to charm you, everything, that sort of thing. So those are things that I understand where you're coming from lah. So but for me, I mean, it's good experience when you have a lot of people that you work with, everything, and then you
charm. Kalau charm, what do you mean charm? What not charm as in charm bukannya nak apa? When I say charm, bukan maksud aku nak ngorak.
Aku tahu lah.
Charm as in charm as in make yourself accessible lah.
I'm not talking about your charm in terms of flirting. I'm talking charm about getting people having an wow moment with you, that sort of thing lah.
No. Charm. When I say charm, I'm talking about it's more like people understand that you are accessible lah. Charm as in they know, oh, okay, this guy is easy to talk to, or this guy is accessible lah. That is charm in that sense.
Okay, true. Yeah, okay, understand. So yeah, I mean, because I mean, I don't think I need to do that sort of thing lah. I mean, for me, it's easy. I mean, if you have something to ask, you ask, then I'll give it to you lah. Because I felt that, yeah, I think one of the reasons because it's a part of paradigm lah. So I'm an introvert, and then you do sales, which is mostly will be extrovert. So most of the time I have two kind of character when dealing with potential client. I'll be more talkative, but when I'm on my own zone, I will be mostly on silence, that sort of thing lah. So that's so in a way when I meet with them, basically in the office, so I'll be mostly will be quiet lah. And then telling them I don't have that up to that point lah where I share my stories unless it's something later when you talk about something lah. So those are the way that I would do lah. I mean, in terms of sharing my knowledge, so but not a part where I need to, like I said, I need to do a bit of marketing to tell them, okay, this how much experience I have. Come and see me if you want to learn, that sort of thing lah. So that's why I say, I mean, for me, it's not about, I mean, like I said, I do have a thing to sell, which is ideal, but I do not have that intention to promote it or market it lah, in a way.
Why? I mean, aku faham lah, but aku bukan soal kau sebab aku tak buat hati. I just asking you why je.
Because I think itulah, I mean, when we share something, because I think everything require energy lah. So when you share something, when someone are not there to actually listen, so you actually waste your energy lah. So that's why so I would prefer to reserve my energy in terms of someone actually really interested.
Well, how would you know if if you never invested energy?
I mean, that's what I say. I mean, it's all about
to find out if they're interested.
It's all about being showing that I always be there with them. So when
but isn't that
when they are
it goes back to macam orang kata, that's like being a Malaysian teacher lah for me. You know, Malaysian teacher concept itu they always be there for you, but people don't actually come to them pun.
So,
I mean, I'm talking about experience lah. Living overseas dengan Malaysia kan. The concept of Malaysian teacher dengan English teachers lah. How are they different though? There is a difference. So memang when you talk about that, that's like a Malaysian teacher for me. English teachers are not like that. That's why the education is different.
Specifically?
But again, they make themselves accessible lah.
How do they make them accessible? That's the question lah. I mean, I'm not so sure why you say that I'm make myself accessible, but I'm not there.
No, I'm saying kalau what you were saying just now, you said you have something to sell, but you're not going to market yourself. So kalau nak datang lah.
That's okay. I think when I say why actually I'm showing that I'm actually accessible. It's not like, okay, I'm sitting at my table waiting for them to come. So every time that they have a discussion, I'll be in there. I'll be in there, but it's not like I'm going to, okay, this is what I'm going to share with you. I'm there to actually for you to, okay, you have any question, you can ask me. I'm just beside you. It's not about okay lah.
Macam Malaysian teachers lah. So lah, that's what I'm saying. Malaysian teacher macam tu lah konsep dia.
Konsep macam, I mean, maybe specific lah. It's not seems to be specific.
It's not. It's like this. Apa? There is no. Malaysian teachers don't reach out as much as compared to English teachers. Faham tak? There's no, like I said, kalau orang datang, nak buat macam mana? I already tell everybody I'm open. I'm available 24 hours. Tapi tak ada orang nak datang.
But that is totally
Contoh macam, faham tak?
differently what I'm doing, man. Like I say lah, because what you're saying is, okay, I'm sitting on my table, I'm waiting for that to come. No, I'm not doing that. I'm joining whatever discussion they have. If they borak-borak biasa pun, I'll just be beside them. It's not about macam, okay lah, I'll do my job on my table when I have to do, but when there's nothing to do, I just join with them lah. It's not like something macam, the way you say is okay, okay, aku ada kat sini, okay, I'll sit.
I'm actually lost already. Like, what the heck are we talking about? I thought we're talking about Farid punya year.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about ni about this reaching out to other people. I mean, impart your knowledge and experience to other people lah. I mean, how you actually doing it. So I'm telling Umay lah, this is how I'm doing it. So what Umay saying that there's no reach out. So I just want to understand
Aku
more.
tak kata kau tak reach out. Aku kata that's some Malaysian
but
teachers.
the way
the way they thinking.
But you compare it to Malaysian teachers. So you said Malaysian teachers not reach out. So it's the
Malaysian teachers, they become accessible. They do reach out. Tapi bila orang tak datang, they don't do anything about it. Faham about it?
okay.
That's what I'm saying. English teachers tak ada. People don't come or kata people reach out. They actually take the extra step. No, I'm talking about my experience lah. Why I hated Malaysian schools bila aku balik pada Malaysia, and why I loved it so much masa kat England kan. I mean, not just me lah. A lot of people yang my yang same situation and experience as me pun said the same thing lah bila balik Malaysia. Exactly. It's because you kind of used to, nak kata bukan manja tau. It's this concept of you are in authority. Kita dah tinggi. So there is a division. Nak tak nak memang. Student is a student, teacher is a teacher. The teacher knows they have more power. So if the people who are, power in terms of status atau lagi bawah dia, if there isn't the result that you want from the top, then you have to get to the macam ni lah as a leader ke prime minister kan. If you think your followers or the people under you are not acting like you want them to be, then you have to find out lah why. You faham tak? There's no such thing as I'm the boss, you're supposed to follow me. And if you're not acting, then that's your problem. Kenapa tak ikut aku? A person who's that's not just teachers, talking politicians, siapa lah. It's always like that, what? If you there's something wrong, you think kita kena find out, bukannya kita kata tak tahu. Aku just this position sebab I'm just here to manage them je or teach them je, but I don't know why they're not acting the way you want them to act. I don't know why they're being like that. It's your job lah to go and ask. It's your job to find out. That's my point. You cannot say, oh, I don't know. Every time, I don't know. Most people are like that lah. Aku rasa kat Malaysia ni. I'm not just talking about teachers lah, because that is like paling senang aku nak tunjuk lah. Tapi I'm talking about the bigger scope sebenarnya. Okay, I'm not saying you're a bad leader ke manager, relax. I'm saying that's what's happening tau. I mean, even in politics ke whatever ke, in the workplace ke apa. Exactly. And again, it goes back to, I'm not saying kau kena part your knowledge, but at the same time, kalau kau buat macam tu, kau jadi boring juga. Amat ni Syed cakap, dia bos kita ni. Tak nak dengar macam kita cakap what we want. It's always about him talking. Aku salah juga kalau kau fikir macam tu. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Sometimes it's better to listen than is to speak.
True.
That is my point. That's my point. Is when you are in authority, doesn't matter. whatever lah, teacher, student, ke boss, ke team leader, ke whatever. That is essential lah for me.
Tapi isn't it that is apa Malaysian kind of culture?
Yelah, sebab tu aku cakap jadi cikgu Malaysia kau ni.
I mean,
Because
it's
it
not
is Malaysian
Malaysia.
culture.
It's not. I mean, I'm not talking about Malaysian culture. I think overall, Asian
Yeah.
culture is like that.
That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. If we have the jurisdiction ataupun the opportunity to change that, why don't change it? Itu je. Itulah aku nak cakap. Faham tak? If you are in power and you have the ability to change, then change it lah. Itu je. And that's what I'm doing. Faham tak? For me lah, macam aku bukan ada authority of power ke that high ke apa, for example kan. Tapi when I get the opportunity, aku buat je. Itu je. I think that's my point. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be a authoritative person ke apa ke. As long as you get someone willing to listen to you or willing to give you attention, you use the opportunity and the advantage. I guess that's my orang kata apa philosophy lah. Itu je lah. Kalau tak, everything remains the same lah. Sama je lah. Malaysia macam cakap, that's our culture mah. Because people don't change. People think the same every time. Semua fikir, tak. You know. But aku baru jumpa masa psychiatrist on Saturday. And this is one of the things I'm talking about kan, pasal doctors in Malaysia ni. Sampai sekarang ada God complex. That's why dia tak improve. Banyak kan, doktor suicide di Malaysia bukannya makin kurang, makin tinggi. Kan recently yang pasal kes kat Penang tu kan. Like, student who committed suicide kan. Jadi high profile balik because something like that happened and then became news. Benda tu bukannya new. It happened so many times. And dia kata, my psychiatrist dah say, kan sebenarnya doktor. Dulu, the reason he became doctor was because tak payah nak just belajar kejap je, after that you just do your work. Bukan macam kerja lain, engineer ke apa, you have to learn all the new things lah, apa benda lah semua. You just be patient and then you get money. Duit dapat banyak lah tu. Then along the way dia kata, they find out that Malaysia ni tak cukup doctors lah. Lepas tu, you always overwork. You excited lah. First kata semua awal-awal tu 3 hari tak tidur pun dia boleh continue and all that. But then lama-lama dia kata it become jadi stressed out. That's why he got into specialty. Dia kata tak ada tak ADGP. Jadi psychiatry. At least dia kata patient dia tak mati. Doktor, patient mati. Okay, that's smart. You guys know aku jumpa psychiatrist, aku tu Dola tahu. Aku tahu apa ni? Aku jumpa psychiatrist.
Why you need to see a psychiatrist?
Aku refer sebab aku apa ni?
PTSD.
Masalah. Tak ada. Asal aku PTSD pula. Sebab aku kan banyak kali keluar masuk hospital because of my condition.
Okay.
Doctors misdiagnose every time. So aku develop anxiety lah.
Okay.
For nearly 2 years
aku to be referred ke or
tak ada doktor recommended. Actually aku on medication early in the year. Lepas tu it worked. Ni aku bagi tahu lah ke doktor tu sebelum aku operation hernia tu. And then doktor kata, you know, if that works kan, and your health pun dah improving, kata why not you do? You know, yeah, better you see psychiatrist, get a second opinion, try to diagnose. And then dia kata, okay, aku jumpa lah. Doktor put me on medication, alhamdulillah okay. Maybe that's why aku cool kot when talk about parenting apa benda ke apa macam. Adalah aku nak ni sangat. So aku on Xanax dengan antidepressant. Ada antidepressant. Dah 4 months plus lah.
Hope you getting better.
Masih lagi betul. Kau tak calculator, tak adalah aku lupa. Every 2 months, baru on Saturday tu. That's the thing about mental health tau. Apa ni, most people don't understand. It's not like you see a psychiatrist sebab kau gila tau. You don't see a psychiatrist because you're mentally something wrong kat tu.
Yeah, correct.
Apa ni?
Understand.
It's just actually, aku akan recommend to you guys, you all at least kena see a psychiatrist once in your life. And you know why? It's not about you're crazy ke, you're stressed out. Aku jumpa psychiatrist ni, we don't talk about bukannya aku cerita kat dia about my problems. Oh, saya stress lah kerja macam ni, or my wife ke. You know what I do when I talk to my psychiatrist? We talk about how the human brain functions tu je. How our body functions, how our brain functions. So he's also talking about the science of it. The science of our brain, the science of our body, semua. So the more I speak to him, lagi aku faham tau myself. And it's not exactly. So certain things happen. Oh, okay, this is my body reacting to this. Or this is my brain reacting to it. So I've managed to package it in a more logical punya sense lah. Instead of panicking or being anxious or anxiety about when things happen. And aku tak tahu kenapa my body reacting or my mind is reacting that way. I can guide my brain lah to not heal myself, but find a path to normalcy. Yes, that's what. Yeah. Exactly. So that's the thing lah. I mean, it's experience, it's interesting lah. Sebab aku more on psychotherapy.
Okay.
That means aku more on medication. The doctor pun kata okay. Biasanya you have to go to 3 steps. To go to where I am now, selalu people have to go to 3 steps. You kena jumpa psychologist first, and then kena buat diagnose, and then kena buat test, psych evaluation, and then baru jumpa psychiatrist and decide whether nak kena buat therapy ke, nak buat medication ke. So in my case, aku terus medication. Aku cut. Dia tak ada buat psych evaluation ke, tak ada apa ke, dia terus medication.
Now we go through medication.
Special case. Sebab aku banyak kali keluar masuk hospital, banyak kali banyak doktor aku jumpa. Doktor tengok diagnose aku pun, dia kata kan, so it might be because doktor banyak kali misdiagnose aku, tu yang aku jadi anxiety tu.
Okay, understand.
Okay. So that's the apa? That's my case lah semua tu. Kan sebab PTSD tu cakap. Aku tak ada diagnose. I am not diagnosed. Aku tak ada bipolar ke or PTSD ke or whatever. Because I skip that part.
Okay.
Aku terus dapat medicate. I got the good stuff terus, so aku tak payah nak tell about my life story ke, nak kena cry on the couch ke apa ke. So that's the thing lah. But like I said lah, it's interesting tau cakap Dola. You should go see a psychiatrist. Kalau kau pun sama, not because you guys are crazy ke atau pada mental health, but everybody should see in at least once in their life. Just to experience it lah. And it works because I think that's why, especially in therapy, it's all about getting to know yourself better lah. Therapist doesn't give you a solution lah. Therapist's job is actually to make you understand yourself better, to realize, what issues you have so that you can actually find a cure of yourself. You can find the solution. Janganlah fikir mahal lah benda, alah kalau we want semua. So cakap dolar kata mahal lah, tak nak. But it's, I mean, you know, for me it's worth it because of that lah. And you have to understand also, there is no 100% cure for anything. Doesn't mean kau jadi therapist ke. I mean, dan psychiatrist pun cakap ada orang stop seeing him for like 4 or 5 years, lepas tu datang balik. Sebab anxiety balik. Benda ni it comes and go. Dia kata it's not. Even my psychiatrist pun, anak dia pun was in psychiatry. Anak dia doktor lagi.
Lagi secretary.
Family anak dia. Tak, anak dia pun went through depression and all that. Needed psychiatrist. For a few years atau about 2 years. Dia cerita. Kata kan, very normal lah anak dia semua doktor. Dan dia kata memang dia doktor is very, very depressing and very, very hard. Very difficult. Exactly. That's the thing lah. So aku punya session dengan dia every time, like 1 hour tu, I think about half an hour we talk about the brain and the human body. The rest of the time he talks about himself je. Which is funny kata kakak tu. Bukan patutnya aku cerita sedih aku. And now he talks about himself every time. So I tell my wife tu kan, banyak kali macam tu. Masa my first 2 sessions macam tu juga lah. Doktor tu banyak cakap, now macam yesterday, Saturday aku pergi sama je lah. He talk about himself je lah. Most of the time. So for me it's ni lah, it's interesting one. Going through that. And I'd recommend people to especially our age, you need to, you know, sometimes ada hidden, sebab lah macam my wife kan therapist kan, dia cerita all the people dan cerita-cerita kat dia semua, all the issues they're facing apa semua, banyak pent up lah, especially people in their 40s. Itu yang orang life crisis and all that, but there's so many things pent up and they think they dah become successful or dah do things in life apa ni, that those things actually went away. Tapi tak sebenarnya. There's still that childhood trauma lah, something yang hidden yang kita tak surface until, you know, until kena korek lah, which is what my wife does. She digs up, korek and all that. So that maybe you guys punya New Year's resolution kan.
Okay lah. Dalam tak bukan, I mean it's almost 12:30 lah.
Nah, esok kerja lah tu.
Besok kerja. So we have to
the longest episode ever, man.
Orang patut control. He's the MC.
Itulah patut buat kerja.
Okay lah. So okay, thank you lah. So thanks to Mai for the insights. Sorry.
Alright, guys.
Alright. Okay, I have to go. Okay.
Okay.
Till the next time. Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Bye.